You're listening to the Personal Development Through Martial Arts podcast, the podcast where the world's highest personal development experts and martial arts masters come together to empower and inspire you to become your strongest self and live the life that you truly want. Join host Bogdan, Rosu, author, public speaker, and the founder of the first personal development through martial arts school in the world, in the podcast where you become the hero. We're here with my friend Jean Paul Pagalos, who I had the pleasure and honor to meet in the UPW event. And Jean Paul is doing an amazing job for coaches and business people who are starting out and want to get more clients. But he's going to tell us more about what he does. Jean Paul, please say hello. And for the people who don't know you.
Hey guys, how are you? Nice to be here.
Awesome. This is our second interview together, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I had a lot of fun in the first one. That was over, a year and a half ago?
I think so, yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, don't ask me about that one because that was like for exclusive for our members area. There's a plug for... Awesome. Jean Paul, tell us a bit more about what you do right now and what changes you've experienced since we first met each other.
Okay, right now I'm a full-time coach. I do business coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I do also consulting jobs, when people want more than coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually want me to help them make changes and improve results in their company regarding their sales, their marketing, strategy, anything regarding to growing your business. I help them with that, and also I'm launching in Spanish. This is just in Spanish. This program, it's a mentoring program. It's an online program where I help coaches that are starting out to get new clients, and it's a trend that I've seen, especially in the Spanish market. This is in Spain and South America, Latin America.
Right.
Coaching is starting to boom. Everybody wants to become a coach, and they love the methodology of coaching and the process of coaching, but they don't understand that coaching is a business. If you want to get clients and you want to start charging for your services, yeah, you're a coach. Okay, we got that. But you're also a business owner.
Yeah.
And this is a concept that in the Spanish market, basically, they don't get it. Most of them don't get it, So that's where I saw a good opportunity to come in and help them out, and distinguish the difference. Say, listen, okay, you're a coach, but you're also a business owner, so you have to treat your coaching business as a real business.
Yeah.
And this concept is new to them, and some people, have a bit of a backlash, not too much, but some people are saying, listen, coaching is an art and it's just to help people out. It's not a business.
Right.
Okay, perfect. If you just want to help people out, that's totally fine with me. It's no problem. But if you want to get clients and earn your income through coaching, you have to learn how to run a business. So I started this program to teach them.
Yeah, something that's definitely worth mentioning is the fact that you didn't just wake up one morning and said, you know what, I'm going to teach marketing, or I'm going to teach coaches to run a business, right? You are first a business owner, and then you decided to dive deeper into the personal development space and actually help people in that sense.
The main difference I see a lot of people that turn to coaching because they're actually they had a job, they were doing something they didn't like, They had no growth, no contribution.
It's like, I'm going to be a life coach.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a coach. Wow, I love this, and I want to become a coach because I want the freedom and everything. My story is total opposite. When I started, I went out of college. I finished college. This was back in 2003, and I got a job for 6 months. And after 6 months, I said, listen, this is not for me. I want to be my own boss, and I went straight into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So 6 months out of college, I started my own first business, and to be honest, back then, I think I thought I knew a lot of stuff. I didn't know zero, So I had to learn. And the biggest thing that I found out, the difference that was going to make or break my success was marketing, how to market and sales. Sales, yeah, but especially how to get known and get people to trust me. So I became obsessed with how to earn people's trust. And especially for me back then, I had a real estate agency. I was a real estate broker back then. I was 23 years old in Spain. I'm over 6'8", got red hair, and my clients were all short Spanish people, that looked up to me like this.
Yeah.
So I wasn't very.
What is that? I'm sorry. What is that in meters? Because I have no idea. I have no reference for feet. How much?
I'm very tall, 204.
2 meters. Wow. Yeah.
So my average customer was like 100, 165, 170.
Dude, I'll never forget when I walked into that apartment. So we were up, we met each other for the UPW event, and we shared an apartment. It was us, right? Vitaly, Chris, and Burnt, right? The coolest dudes ever. Like, we became really good friends after that. But I'll never remember. I opened the door to the apartment, right? So I look around the apartment and say, okay, it's cool. And then out comes Jean Paul from his room, like, whoa, like one of those slow motion moments, right? Whoa. He wouldn't stop like, it's like, oh my god, this guy's so big. I think that's one of the first things that I said, right?
You went to an event and there was no pressure, and we just met as regular friends. Imagine that feeling when I'm trying to do business with you. I'm trying to get you to buy you a house or anything.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
And I figured, wow, in order for me to be successful here, I really need to know my marketing. I really need to know how to build trust, and I really know how to sell.
But
so that's how my.
Was it like because people couldn't relate to you or felt that they couldn't relate, or was it was it your belief that, oh my god, I'm so tall, these people will not gonna really relate to me, and how am I going to connect with them?
I think it's a combination of both, but people like being friends with like-minded people, and people like doing business with people they can relate to, and that's about creating rapport, and just people like to do things with people that are like them. Generally, people say, okay, yeah, opposites, and everything, but generally that's how it works. So I just didn't fit in their idea of just a real estate broker. They were just expecting a Spanish guy, and I don't look Spanish at all. So it's just I had to find other ways to build trust, and that's the key thing. So I read books, I went to courses, I tried things out, and it went really well. I was really happy with the results I was getting, and it came to a point that marketing was just something I understood, and it's very natural, and it's something that it's inside me. It's not something that I have to read a textbook and say, well, okay, you can do this. I just see a business, I see what they do, and automatically I can say, okay, listen, this is what you need to do, and everything.
What did you do differently? Like, what were the other things that you did to build more trust?
Okay, back then, really, really simple. People did not use any. We're talking about 2003 in Spain with a boom. You sold houses super fast, super easily. I gave reports. So every time that I wanted to get a house for sale, I did this report. I measured the house. I created the floor plans for the owner. I did an inspection of how the gas installation was, the electricity, and the plumbing installation was. I presented that to clients. And I told the owner, listen, with this report, your house will be more trustworthy in the market, because I've done the work. So the owner, the house owners, the homeowners love this. They're like, wow, this guy is really like taking care of making sure that my house is going to be sold. And with the clients, also, they saw that I had a lot of information about the house. I could prove it, and that built trust. So many other things, but that's just an example.
Yeah, so you basically over-delivered in something that mattered to them.
Yes, business is about just giving value, and then you just get paid for the value that you offer. So obviously, a basic rule of thumb is you always have to over-deliver. If a client has this expectation, you're going to give this value. If you double, triple, even quadruple that value, they're going to be blown away, and they're going to talk about you. They're going to tell their friends, and it's basic common sense.
Yeah, yeah. It makes me think of this story. I think it was I read it in The Magic of Thinking Big. That's like the first ever personal development book that I read. Um, so this guy was trying to sell some land, right? So he didn't really get any buyers or any people interested. And what this real estate agent did was very similar to your project, right? He drew up the potential house or like a potential ranch that you could build there. And he wasn't selling a piece of land anymore. He was selling a business or a dream to
Yeah.
people. And of course, people became super interested and bought. Guys, as a side note, whether what I've discovered, after years of hitting my head against the wall, trying to build rapport and relationship, trying to be agreeable and being nice and stuff like that. One of the best ways to build connection and rapport with people and for people to trust you is for you to honestly express what you're thinking, right? And we were discussing it in the previous interview with Mario Tomic. It's very useful when you feel that your product or the house is not a good fit for the client to tell them that and to be upfront about it and why you think it wouldn't really be a good fit, right? Or your product or your service, why it's not a good fit. Maybe it's too expensive for them, right? Maybe they're too advanced for your product, and just be super, super honest about it, because you're not there just to sell something. You're there to make people's lives a bit better, right? And that goes for everything. Like if you don't agree with something, just say it in a polite way. I don't agree with that because it's my opinion, right? And people will have more trust in you because you're a real person.
What you're saying, I relate it to being authentic and authenticity.
Yes.
And it's if I had to say one thing, a good quality to develop and something to work on if you're into personal development, is to develop your authenticity and to not be afraid to be yourself.
But
and that's
a lot of people don't know who they are.
okay. Yeah, that's one thing. But a lot of people don't know who they are. Okay, but they have some idea of who they are. So the thing is that a lot of times they're just afraid to express who they are because of peer pressure, because of the environment, because of social conditioning, and to me, I can tell you in this journey of leaving the business that I had the last time we talked, the restaurant and the event center, to becoming a coach, my biggest wins have always been through connections and people that I connected with authentically.
Yes.
And what does that mean? It means it's very simple. It's just connecting with who you truly are and expressing it without fear. Once you do that, people see something in you. People see the magic spark, the true essence of who you are, and they connect with it. And that's how things happen.
I think, for a lot of people, and for myself included, it's very difficult to find out, and maybe we can dive deeper into this topic of having more clarity about who you are and what you want. Because I would go out, put in so much effort to get some goals, right, that I think that I thought that I wanted. And then I would ask myself, like, who, are these really my goals? Like, or am I just following some kind of ad, or am I just working to pay somebody for an expensive car that, that somebody made a very nice ad for? Do I really want that, And it's interesting because sometimes it changes, 1 year you might want one thing, 1 year you might want the other. How do you help your clients get more clarity on who they are, on what they want, and what they need to do to get there?
Okay. First of all, you have to understand that I can't remember who said it. I've seen so many videos, so much information, but the phrase just stuck with me, and the phrase is that our brains are terrible predicting what they think will make us happy.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And it's when I heard that, I'm like, wait, our brain is terrible at predicting what will make me happy, and I just gave it some thought, and they explained it, and it's true. If you don't direct your brain, and you don't give some thought on what you truly want, your brain will guess and say, okay, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on your friends that have nice cars and nice incomes? So, okay, that will make you happy because you're focused on it. You wish you had that.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
so then your brain subconsciously works towards you getting that. So when you write down your goals and you didn't even think about what goals you want, I'm like, okay, I want a nice car, I want a nice income, I want to travel because that's what cool people do, and I want to go to Thailand, go to Dubai, go to New York, and just basically it's your goals on repeat based on what your brain thinks you want. So the thing is that you work hard to get it, and once you get it, you're like, wait, is this all there is? And and you realize it's not what you truly wanted. That happens a lot of times. Most of the times when people start businesses, "Oh, I want to make it big, I want to be successful, and once they do it and they start living that dream, they realize it's not at all what they wanted. So this brings us down to the topic of what do you truly want? And that is something that I've realized with my clients. Most of the people are not clear on what they truly want. And this is basically lack of clarity. And it's huge, huge, because when you talk to people, and they will tell you, no, you're wrong. I know exactly what I want.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, I want a nice car, I want a nice income, I want a family, the basic, truly true stuff.
But why? Why do you
Yeah.
want that?
Yeah, exactly. You ask them the why. I'm like, because that's what I want to be successful. And there you see a lack of clarity in their actions. But let's go a step further. When I have a client, for example, they say, listen, I'm not happy. I'm doing this. This is supposed to be good for me, but I'm just not being fulfilled, and I don't know what's going on. It's lack of clarity.
Yeah.
Lack of clarity.
I feel like they bought into this fantasy that we're being sold. Get a nice car, nice family, nice house, and that's basically the goal, right? The how you get it.
Or it could be not have a house, not have a family. It can be any goal. Not everybody's goal is the same.
Yeah.
But it's just giving thought and just sitting down and actually thinking about what do you want.
Do you meditate?
Yes, I do meditate.
Oh yeah, you told me about you do the one that we learned over at Tony Robbins event, right?
I prime. I do meditations also when I just want to wind down and relax, and it's just I like some guided meditations and everything. I don't do yoga, stuff like that, but I do like to meditate and just bring my body down to earth sometimes.
I love that. I can honestly say with my hand on my heart that meditation had the most contribution in my life in terms of self-confidence, in terms of knowing myself. Because you just get to that state, that centeredness, and you get in touch with that, and it's like, oh my God, this is who I am, right? And it's just a different level of living. You just dive in deeper, and from there, just like I could act differently and live my life differently from that space, because that was like I don't know, it's very difficult to describe. It's just like having a reference point.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I do an exercise with my clients where I just ask them. It's this booklet I've created for myself, and I every time that I mention it to people, they're like, "Oh, can I have a copy?
Yeah.
Oh, can I have this?" Yes, and it's basically I call it my exceptional life blueprint.
Nice.
So what I do there is I take the time to write down my vision for my life, write down my purpose, my why, write down my mission, my values. I want to write down how I want to feel every day, what emotions I want to actually feel, and I call it my code of conduct. And this is not something that I invented. It's just things that I picked up from different mentors and just from books that I've read. I've created this booklet, and the code of conduct is basically where I actually can direct myself on how I want to act and feel when I talk to people, how I approach my day, And what I do is I precondition my brain to start thinking that way
Yeah.
on purpose, on purpose, you know. And it's as simple as when you wake up one day, I'm like, how do you feel today? Oh, I feel like crap. So it's very likely that your day will feel like
The
crap.
crap is gonna. Yeah.
But
Exactly.
if you meditate and you check out this booklet, you know, you review your goals, you review your mission right before breakfast, you see your code of conduct, and you can decide today, I want to feel lively. I want to feel joyful. I want to feel productive. I want to feel respectful, you know, and you think about that before the day, it's very likely that during the day you will actually feel and act that way. And that will reflect on the things you do and the interactions with other people, and that will transform into the results you want. And it's yeah, it's very useful, and especially the vision part. Just being able to write down what you want for your life. And obviously, the vision is not something that I did once, and it's that same vision. I update the vision constantly,
Yeah.
constantly. You know, it's not that my goals. You know,
I think
so
that
so
I think a lot of people just avoid doing this exercise because I'm sure that people who are listening in, they know that just by doing this exercise, their mood will change, their lives will change, the way they interact with other people will absolutely change. But the number one reason why I think people don't do it is because it's just such unknown territory. It's such uncharted territory for most people. We're so used to feeling like crap. Or, that's actually the norm. Just go out your house, everybody's just like with their heads in the ground. They're just stressed, checking their social media all the time and just having this constant anxiety and nervousness in their lives,
mm,
right? So I think that, because of the environment, we're being afraid not to lose this kind of connection with other people
yeah.
who have that kind of lives, right? We avoid doing this positive stuff, and living life differently. What do you feel we can do in that sense, like to keep connections alive or connect with other people?
Yeah. Well, on what you're talking, I think that a lot of people they're not into personal development. They just don't know and they don't study about this,
Mm-hmm.
so they just don't have the information. My guess is that the people that are watching, they're into personal development. Okay, they're a step further.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think that fear plays a big part here. You know, in taking action, and fear of failure and fear of just uh, taking the initiative, and and it's also similar also with New Year's resolutions,
Mm-hmm.
where like Tony Robbins said, a lot of people don't even like make resolutions anymore because they don't want to upset themselves that they're not going to follow through on them. So they're like, listen, forget that. And it has to, yeah, I think it has to do with just fear of taking action. So what to do with fear? How do you fight it, or how do you go with it? Well, this I feel like I cannot tell you this. You have to actually experience it in your own self.
Mm-hmm.
But a basic rule of thumb that I use in my life is every time that I have fear of something,
Mm-hmm.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
It's my sign. I'm like, this is fearful. Okay, you have to do it. For two reasons. First of all, because every time that I've feared something and I've done it, I'm like, wow, it wasn't that bad. I used to be scared of heights and the roller coasters and amusement parks. Actually, I'm going to share a story. This is quite funny. When I was 14 years old, the school trip was to go to an amusement park. It was in the U.S., Six Flags, one
Yeah.
of the biggest roller coasters in the world, 6 or 7 loops, and I'm not going to go there, and I'm not going to jump in the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Uh, but there was this girl that I liked,
Yes.
and she asked me, I'm like, you want to join me on the roller coaster? I'm like, sure. And
Of course.
yeah, of course. I couldn't say no. It was not an option. So there's this huge line, 40 minutes to get in, to actually, just wait to get in.
Yeah.
And I was scared, to
Sweating.
be honest, scared shitless. I prayed to God so much. I'm like, please, please, it's gonna be okay. Please, please, it's gonna be okay. And she was happy and everything. I'm like, okay, just do it. So basically, I got on the roller coaster, I just closed my eyes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I closed my eyes and I started rolling and everything. And when it was over, I was waiting for the worst part, and the worst part never came, and it was over. And I'm like, whoa, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. Even I had my eyes closed. So then I went again and again and again. And by the end, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
My fear disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have never done that if didn't have the incentive of trying to be brave in front of this girl.
Did you ever tell her the story? Like,
Not at all. You're crazy. I think it's the second time in my life I tell this story, or perhaps the first time, publicly.
Awesome.
And
guys, share some love with Jean Paul in the comment section. Congratulate him for sharing this awesome story. I love it.
And it was a big lesson. I didn't learn the lesson till years after, where I could relate about other things that were fearful.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking in public was really a big one for me a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I just learned. I'm like, wait, I'm seeing a pattern here with fear. So once you have fear, just take action. And a phrase that I heard and I love: everything you want in life is at the other side of the fear you're having. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
What you have now is what you have. What you want, you're probably it's gonna scare you to go out and get it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that you really want in life, everything, it's on the other side of fear. It's on the other side. So just go through it. And if you go with that mindset, I'm gonna break through walls. I don't care. I'm gonna do what it takes. And usually, you end up enjoying the experience.
Yeah.
Enjoying the experience is way better than just overcoming the fear itself.
Dude, like I was terrified of talking to women, right? Because I had this self-image, very weird self-image that nobody wanted to talk to me. I wasn't interesting and stuff like that. And it came from some other experiences growing up as well, right? So when I moved to Bucharest, there was like all these beautiful women that I wanted to talk to, but couldn't because I was so terrified. Like, what are they going to say? Am I going to get stuck, right? And of course I did. I got stuck most of the times when I tried doing it, right? And I got some coaching in that sense, right? And it was very funny because the way that this guy was teaching was something like, okay, you see that girl? Go talk to her. And I was like, yeah, but, like, teach me something. Yeah, share something with me, like, share some stuff. And, like, no, just go talk to her. And I was like, look, if you came to my martial arts school and the way you're teaching right now would be something like, you see that guy? Go talk to him. Go fight him and then come back and I'll tell you what you did wrong. Right? So it was crazy, it's actually... And that didn't really help me. But what I decided one day, I said, you know what, I have really had enough. And one day I just like, okay, I'm going to talk to strangers, not just women, because you're not afraid of being judged by women. It's also like people who you perceive as being at a higher, living life at a higher standard than you or stuff like that. So every day I would just talk to strangers and just give like random compliments and just, ask them questions about their day, how it was. It was like one of the hardest things that I had to do in my life, right? And it helped me immensely because now it's just easy to connect with new people regardless of their status. So it's very easy for me to do these kinds of interviews, right? Without comparing myself to other people's results. So, yeah.
That's that's what you're talking about. It's related to the two biggest fears humans have. Everybody has them, regardless of who they are. They've always gone through this. Number one is fear of not being enough. So I'm just relating to what you said. You felt that you were not enough to talk to those women. Absolutely. And as a result of not being enough, you won't be loved. And those are the two biggest fears that everybody has.
Yeah.
And I would even say that every fear that you have relates and builds up and brings you down to these two fears, at different levels, but basically I'm not enough. And it's if you look at it and you really dive in, it's fake beliefs about yourself. Of
Yeah.
course you're enough. Of course you're enough, and of course you will be loved. First of all, you have to think you're enough. And feel you're enough, and second of all, you have to love yourself. That's if you don't love yourself, you won't find love somewhere else.
It's funny
That's a whole other topic.
we take on these beliefs, that are not ours, right? Because like when we were kids, you wanted to be friends with someone. What did you do? Like you just walked up to that person, that kid, and you said, "Hey, you want to be friends?" They would say yes or no or some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. And you just had like a new friend. But then we complicated things in a crazy, crazy manner, right? How do you help your clients change their beliefs? In terms of related to not being enough, related to not being loved, because it all comes down to that.
I have two takes on this. The first one is that if you detect you have problems, yeah, problems of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
not being enough, you can always start a coaching process, and you can always start your not even a coaching process, but your own personal journey
Mm-hmm.
to build that. That's what I did with my life. I'm like, wait, I don't feel confident enough in these areas, so let me learn about confidence. Let me see what people that are successful talk and what they have to say about confidence, and let's work it. That's one approach, and the other approach, which could be depends. I won't say more effective, but it's just to take action.
Mm.
Take action. Don't process and just commit yourself to taking action. What if you will get rejected? What if you're gonna try something and it's a disaster?
Mm-hmm.
The first time I did a webinar online, the first time I
Yeah.
froze. I froze, and it was live people. There was like 15, 20 people, and I froze directly. I couldn't speak, and
That's,
and I just stood there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I couldn't speak. I blanked out completely. So I'm like, wait, guys. So I just made up this story. I'm like, guys, do you hear me? I think I'm having connection problems. And everybody's like, I hear you perfect. Yeah, I see you perfect. Keep on talking and everything. And basically, what I had to do is I had to like press pause on the live webinar. I had to stand up. I had to like say, okay, listen, this is your head playing tricks on you. And I
Mm.
just stopped. I'm like, wow. And I said, listen, it's the first time. Don't care. Just be yourself. Just do
Yeah.
and take action. Take action. And I went back and I finished it. It wasn't great. I'm not gonna say it was the best. It wasn't great. It was totally crap. I didn't feel good with the end result.
Yeah.
But at the end, I got the job done, which is I said what I wanted to say, and I did it. So obviously, I worked on after that webinar. I worked on how not to repeat that and how to
Mm-hmm.
improve.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
still
Mm-hmm.
get on webinars today, and I make mistakes. I don't care. I don't care. The
Yeah.
goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to basically take action and get the job done. Sometimes you will do it better. Sometimes you will do it worse. But I will not let that fear and I will not let that stop me.
Yeah, yeah, it makes a lot of sense, I think we're chasing so much, this kind of validation, the yes, the wow, you're great and stuff like that. But if if everyone would just focus more on the no's, because you're always going to get the no, right? And just be happy that somebody said no to you, because it just means that you're making progress. I have no idea how to describe it, but
Well, I have the perfect phrase because I just read a book that talks exactly about this,
uh-huh.
and it says it's a book about it's called The Prosperous Coach, and it's
Okay.
about getting coaching clients.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the author says the yes lives in the land of the no.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In order to get
Search for
yeses,
it.
you're gonna have to listen to no's also. And once you accept that and you understand that, I'm like, okay, no, okay, no problem, move on, next one. And you will get yeses in the middle. Yesterday, I did a consultation for a possible client, and he said no,
Mm-hmm.
no problem. I didn't feel, oh wow, I didn't do good enough. He didn't trust. I don't. No, he said no. Okay, it's not for me. No, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I feel very different talking about it now, because if we would have this conversation a year ago, I would still have something like, you know that feeling when something's grabbing your heart, when
Yeah.
like grabbing it tight and stuff like that. Um, if I would have thought of somebody saying no and rejection and stuff like that. Now, if somebody says no, it's for me, it's a reason of celebration. It's like, oh my God, I did something. Somebody said no. I'm making progress. It's amazing. This person, because they said no today, they're gonna look back in 5 years, right? Whether it's business or relationships or whatever. In 5 years, they're gonna be like, my God, I'm so stupid. Why did I say no?
Well, I don't know.
It's that kind of conviction.
Yeah, it depends. And as I said before, you can, if you feel that confidence is an issue, is a challenge for you, you get some help. Read books about confidence. There's plenty of material. The problem is that that's what I tell my clients. It's like, listen, information today. That people think, wow, if I just knew how to do this,
Yeah.
Knowing information is useless.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people say it. Information today is free.
Yeah.
Everything that you possibly want to find out and learn is free. If you have the time and the energy just to go and find it, Google it.
Yeah.
You can build a boat for free because there's a plans and there's step by steps. There's even guides to do bombs. I don't know where they are, but these
Don't
people
search
that
for
own
those
boats.
guys.
Sorry?
Don't look for the bomb plans.
No, but you can basically anything that you want to do.
You can
The
create,
information is
yeah,
out there.
yeah,
Anything.
yeah.
The problem is not the lack of information. The problem is the lack of taking action based on that information.
I think it's also because it's too much information and we just get overwhelmed, because one guy says, follow your dreams. The other guy just says, get to work and work hard, and you don't really know who to listen to. I think sorry.
Yeah, that's up to you to have your own personality and your own. Well, there's a word in Spanish which is called criterio. Criterio is like being able to decide by yourself what's good for you, what works, what doesn't, and it's just if you don't even want to bother with deciding,
Yeah.
look for somebody that is performing and having the results you want. Just copy it. Don't even think of it. Just copy.
Yeah.
Copy. And that's it. With my clients and the Spanish ones that want to get clients, a lot of them have confidence issues when they sell their services. A lot of them, and I tell them, listen, this is two options. I just told them the easiest way is just to follow the steps. Just listen, trust the process, follow the steps, and we will get you to get your first client fast. Because that's the best proof. Because if you can get one client, you can get two clients. If you get two clients, you can get four. If you can get four, you can get 10. If you can get 10 clients, you can live off coaching. And forget about the confidence. Just take action. That's one approach. Some people are so scared, and the lack of confidence and fear is so big, they can't. It's like they're chained to their past and the whole story about, I'm not good enough and I will be rejected. Get some help. Hey.
Yeah, and just to make a quick parallel with martial arts, I'm sure there are like martial arts teachers who are listening in and saying, confidence, I'm confident, I teach martial arts, what are you talking about? And what I would add is, like, I taught martial arts also when I was afraid to speak to women or speak to investors or speak to high-level business people to learn more, right? So it's not about, you can be super confident in one area of your life and actually lack confidence in other areas because your beliefs are, you know what, I don't deserve it, I can't do it. And a parallel will be, for example, let's say that you do very, very good drills in your school, in your martial arts school, right? You do the drills, you're very good at doing the exercises, you're doing very good at doing the form. However, you don't believe that you could apply all this information because you're afraid to get hit. You're afraid to hit people. That was a big one for me, right? I was more afraid to hit someone than to actually take a punch. Right? I don't know. It's crazy. But you get over that by just doing sparring and testing things out, right? If you don't work on yourself internally, if you don't spend time meditating and writing down your beliefs, just like Jean Paul was saying, writing down your vision, it's going to be very difficult to apply the information that you learn in your school, because your internal will determine your external. So by meditating and visualizing yourself, performing at the highest level with your martial arts and in your life, things are going to change in a much rapid pace, right? Do you have cases of people where you give them all the tools, they start getting some results, but then they stop because they feel that they're making too much progress than what they can take? That was for you, Jean Paul.
Say that again. Sorry,
It's
I
like,
didn't catch that as a question.
do you have clients who start getting some results, but then they just stop because they can't handle,
Yes,
more
of course.
success and
Yeah.
more progress?
Absolutely. I have. It happens. I had this one client. She started. She followed the steps. She sent me a message. Listen, this is amazing. I already have 10 sessions to do, and I can get clients. It's working. Your stuff works. I'm super happy. And she disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent her a message. Listen, what happened with those 10 potential clients you could get and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was busy. I got sick. I had to postpone them. And yeah, I'll catch up. But I love your work. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
and okay. Another week goes by, and this was right in December,
Yeah. Yeah.
last
Yeah.
month. New Year's and new resolutions and new start in 2018 and new energy and everything. And it was something that I was talking about in my group. Listen, you want to crush it in 2018 with your coaching. Let's start doing the work now.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, she disappeared until we had one coaching session come up, and she wouldn't reply to me or anything. I'm like, listen, we have this coaching session, and she's like, listen, to be honest, I'm just a bit overwhelmed with the whole situation. I don't have energy. I've fallen sick. I just need to focus on one step at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, don't worry, I'll help you through this. Let's talk. So the coaching session came up that day, and like an hour before, she canceled on me. She's like, listen, I'm busy. Something came up. Perfect. So I'm like, okay, just leave her. Let her be. She needs her own time. And she wrote me like 3 days ago saying, listen, the New Year's has just been too overwhelming. It's like it's nothing to do with your course. I love the course. The course works. It's just me that I just need to like lower my energy level and do what's absolutely indispensable, which is absolutely necessary just to keep on moving.
Right.
And to me, obviously, I'm a coach, so just listening to that, I'm like, doesn't sound right. But hey, it's her process and it's her challenges, and people are just fear of failure is big.
Would this
But
get
I was
would this get you angry, like when you hear people's excuses?
no, not not angry at all. I feel a compassion
Mm-hmm.
because she's obviously she's suffering. She's not having a good time because
Yeah.
she's too overwhelmed and scared. She doesn't express it that way. She's like, listen, I'm overwhelmed. I'm scared. This is happening. She just manifests it through life is going on. I have too many things coming up. I'm too busy. I don't have energy. But you can see the process clearly, and
Mm-hmm.
it's obviously you can't push people past what their level is. Obviously everybody has their own uh, moment and time and pace. But obviously from the outside, you can see what's happening. On the other hand, you see other people that go through and take action and get their results and get their one client, they get two clients, and like, listen, this is amazing. I want more. So okay, we give them more. We
Yeah.
talk about the next step on how to you grow your business, manage your finance. Yeah, exactly. Things like that. But a lot of people just don't. They're just scared.
Yeah.
It's scared. Scared.
It used to get me very angry before, when just hearing people's excuses. Oh, I can't come to class because, my cat got sick and stuff like that. But then later,
I wouldn't feel angry because you also have to understand that it's real emotions they're going through, and it's real.
to
It's,
them,
it's
it's real.
suffering. It's anything that is not a growth and in a happy, like Tony Robbins says, anything that is not a beautiful state, which you just feel good and everything, it's a suffering state. So I can't go because my cat got sick. Yeah, you can call it an excuse, but they're actually suffering, because they're feeling something inside that won't allow them to take action. So it's I would get angry if somebody would say, it's not angry, but I would get disappointed if somebody would say, listen, I want results. I'm willing to do anything to get the results. I need your help. If you catch some BS story I'm telling you, please tell me.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, listen, this is a BS story, and you told me to tell you, and I'm catching, and they keep on doing it, but I want results. I had this one case of this person he told me, listen, I want to be on your course. I want to be your best student. I want to be the best example of success. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's amazing. Let's start. And he bought the course, and he hasn't even signed up for the first welcome
lesson.
No, not even lesson. It's the welcome message to the course.
Right.
So I asked him, listen, what happened to this? Doesn't even reply. So I'm not angry at him, but I'm like, okay, why? It's just my question. Why do you say you want to be the best and everything, and then not take one simple, tiny, weeny step of action? So it's you're not being congruent,
By the way, what keeps you congruent? Yeah, I absolutely get what you're saying, and it's true. Sometimes you just you get that emotion that you want to, just like New Year's resolution, right?
Yeah.
But what do you do to keep yourself congruent and accountable for what you're doing?
Okay, so it's a very good question. First of all, you have to have clear goals on what you want. You cannot be congruent if you don't know where you're heading. Because what are you gonna be congruent with if you don't have it? This is a metaphor that I love. Is imagine you're a ship, a big cargo ship in the ocean, and you leave port, and your goal is to reach another port, which is in the other side of the Atlantic, for example. You have a goal. So obviously, if you don't take action and you just go out from port without a map, without a radar, without instruments, where are you gonna end up? If you're not careful, you might even go out in circles. So to be congruent, the first thing you have to know, which is talking about clarity and talking about vision, what we started at the beginning, is know your end goal. Know what you want.
I like that.
So once you know what you want, it's very easy to check if you're keeping on track or not. But if you don't know what you want, obviously you cannot be congruent if you don't know what you want. Because congruent compared to what, or based on what? So then the process of sailing the ship, or how you don't say driving the ship, but taking the ship to the port, it's basically keeping on track. So obviously you will go off course. You always, it's life happens,
Yeah.
I have right now, my daughter's in school. It's her first week of school, and I can get a phone call in any second and say, listen, she's crying too much, she's not coping, come pick her up. So I have to stop my day and stop my thing. I will get off track. And most of the time, my experience has been that most of the time, you will be off track most of your life, off track. And that's okay. It's okay. The key is not to be always right on track, because that's perfection. It's basically impossible. It's impossible to hold yourself to that standard. The key is once you go off track, to go back on track really fast. That's the key to getting results, and that's the key to what you say being congruent. Being able to distinguish that you went off course. I'm like, wait, I'm slacking off here. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing the exercise I should. Get back on track. So it's getting off track. You can consider it a failure. So you're constantly failing. That's fine, but it's how Rocky says. It's not the times the times that you get down what counts. It's the times that you get down and you get back up again.
I love that. Do you write your goals down every day?
No, I don't, and I think it's something that I should. It's something that I would like to do, and I've read it and everything. And this is just me being off track and not being congruent with what I say. I should, and it's something that I'm looking forward to.
something really weird happens when you write down your goals every day, like in the morning, like the same goals. They actually happen.
Yeah, I'll tell you my experience. I don't write them every day. I do write them down, and the
Mm-hmm.
ones that I write, I do review.
Yeah.
But I know the power of actually physically writing things down on paper.
Yeah.
Typing on computer is not as powerful, but the actual act of physically writing down the goals is you're wiring your brain to process what you're writing, you know, and that on a subconscious level allows it to take action faster. So that's one advantage. But I'll tell you, a lot of times, I would say not hundreds, yeah, but a lot of times, I write down goals. I just write a list of goals. Okay, what do you want? Because I want clarity. I want this. I want this. I want to go to travel to this place. I want to do this course. I want to make this amount of money, and I just put it on a piece of paper. And to be honest, a lot of times I just forgot it.
Yeah.
I left it there on my notebook. And 6 months, 1 year, 2 years later, I'm going through my reviews. Goals. I see the date. I'm like, how many things from the list
Happened.
have happened? And I didn't even think of them. But on a subconscious level, they just
Just
happened
happened.
because I conditioned myself by writing them down. So imagine if that works after 6 months. Imagine the power of doing it every
Every
day.
day. Yeah. I personally write them down on my computer because I have like sheets for every single day. It's because sometimes like the days just gets crazy and I write down my thoughts as well. I feel like the important thing is the emotion that you're feeling, like the certainty, the excitement of achieving that goal, right? So yeah, that's just for me, right? If you guys that are listening and you want to write it down, great. Test out and see which one works best for you. Awesome. Um, yeah, Jean Paul. What would you say? Like, what would be like one piece of wisdom that you'd like to share with everyone?
Whoa, one piece I could.
Just one, only one.
If I would say one is I would say be clear on the vision that you want for your life, and it's interesting because I've discovered new things as time goes on. I keep on learning and studying. So I used to believe that in order to make things happen, you had to have every single detail down, and a lot of people teach this. The more detailed the more detailed your vision is, down to the like every detail, and imagine everything perfectly how you want it to happen,
Yes.
and then you review it, and the more vividly you can see that, the better it will be in order to achieve it. But I'm gonna have to start disagreeing with that. Why? Because I've heard a lot of influential people say it, and it got me thinking. And then I applied my own successes in the past, and I did not achieve the biggest successes in my life. I did not achieve through writing every single detail down on how I would achieve it. So what is the better way? That's the thing that I'm looking. You have to have an end goal. That's non-negotiable. You have to know where you want to end up. How you're gonna get there? Who knows how you're gonna get there?
Yeah.
And it's not reasonable to write listen, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna build a company. I'm gonna hire 5 employees on the first month. I'm gonna hire 10 employees on the second month. Who knows if you need
Yeah.
five,
Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
Are,
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
are you a genius? Are you gonna predict the future and say this is gonna happen exactly like this? No, because things change by the second, by the minute. How you would do it is, what's the next thing I need to do now that will take me to that goal,
Goal. Step by step.
step by step. I've heard coaches talk about phases of life, or phases of goal achievement. So once you have your goal, let's say I want to build a business. Let's just make it up. I want to build a coaching business and make $1 million in 2018.
Right.
The question I have to ask myself now is, with that goal in mind, with that vision, what step I need to take now
To
in
get
order
closer.
to reach that goal. So
Awesome.
maybe I need to spend 3 months building a team. Maybe I need to spend 3 months building a following of an audience. that what's the next goal? And once you get that goal, what's the next one? And you build on your success until you reach that. It's totally different from writing everything in detail.
Yeah.
And this was confirmed to me. I saw an interview. Oprah was interviewed at the beginning of January, and I think it was in the Stephen Colbert late night show.
Okay.
Steve, this guy asked her, Oprah, listen, what are your New Year's resolutions? And she's like, you know what? I don't do resolutions anymore. And the reason she said she didn't do resolutions was because things change so fast. Basically, this is what she said, that she has no idea what she needs to do in order to achieve it. So what she does is she sets the intention, not in New Year's. She just sets the intention. She focuses on the next thing to do.
Yeah.
And eventually things happen. So resolutions are not necessary. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So
yeah, that does make a lot of sense, because the how changes, right? But if your why is good enough, right, like, and strong enough, the how doesn't really matter. You're gonna get there one way or the other.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Jean Paul, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure talking.
Thank you for the opportunity. You know, it's a pleasure. I have a lot of fun talking about these things. So talking to you is amazing.
Likewise. What would be like one question that you'd like to ask everyone listening in or watching this interview?
Well, one question relating to the topic is, have you thought what your vision is? Do you have a vision for your life? And if you don't have one, what are you waiting for to start writing?
Awesome.
To do this. Have fun. This is your life, guys. You know, it's not my vision. What the fuck is my vision? No, take your time. Prepare a cup of coffee, whatever, a cup of tea, some water. Put some nice music on the background. Enjoy the time of writing your vision down. Or perhaps, I don't know, in Bucharest now, it's probably freezing outside. Go outside in the nature and go somewhere nice where you enjoy. You take time to focus on yourself, and you write down and start dreaming. It's your life. This is where you put your dreams down on paper to make them happen.
Yeah.
So if you haven't done that, take care of yourself. Take care of. Give yourself some love and start taking care of yourself. You know, do these things. You know, and then take action.
If you go outside right now in Bucharest, your vision will be to go back inside the house.
Okay, so that's fine. Go find a place where they have a nice fire in the woods and some music in the background. I don't know. Go to some hotel lobby where they have this piano.
I think we should all come to your place, because I love your chair, by the way, and it looks like such a warm place. I think everyone listening should come to your place, and we should all write down our visions. Have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in Madrid, so you want to come down? You're welcome.
Okay, guys. Write down your vision in the comment section. We'd love to read it. I will reply to your comments, and connect with Jean Paul. Follow his stuff. He's doing an amazing job for coaches. And if you want more advice, or maybe Jean Paul can share the contents, like, the things that he writes down every day in his booklet, just connect with him, send him a message, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to give you a hand. Awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in. Jean Paul, again, thank you for your time, and I'll see everyone next time.
See you. Thanks, Bogdan.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening in. I hope this was super valuable for you. And also, to get notified every time I post a new video on this YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to have unstoppable self-confidence without seeming arrogant, there's a link in the description where you can download the free report. And if you want me to personally help you with your martial arts training so that you get more speed, power, precision, stability, and have a deeper understanding of your body, you go ahead and you check the link for our online academy, which you will find, of course, in the description. And please go ahead and give us a rating on iTunes. It does help, and it is very much appreciated. I'll see you next time.